Tom, let's talk about the H-1B visa.
Okay.
Were you going to say something?
Well, I just quickly ChatGPT'd this on an FTO's foreign terrorist organization. There is no domestic counterpart for a foreign terrorist organization. So it's not illegal to provide material support unless you know that violence is going to take place. And there's no legal mechanism at any level, state, congressional, or executive president, to define domestic terrorist organization. Applying a label would require a change in federal law related to First Amendment privileges.
Oh, wow.
See, so there it is.
That's what I think.
And by the way, if you change that, guess what? Every president, based on what sign they're on, could start defining his enemies.
For sure, enemies. Okay, so Trump imposes a $100,000 fee on H-1B visa applications. A lot of people are not happy, okay? Some people in Mumbai, some people in Bombay.
Oh, the people that video did with the video? Those guys in the airplane video?
Can I?
Raj and all his homies?
I didn't want to upset your friends. I'm just reading a story, guys. I'm just, you guys are jumping to conclusion. Today. So President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive action on Friday that would impose a $100,000 application fee for H-1B visas. I've gotten so many connects because of this, of people that are upset with this. An effort to curb overuse of the program, a White House official told CNN the executive action plan claimed that abuse of H-1B visa pathway has displaced U.S. workers and will restrict entry under the program unless accompanied by payment. The official said the move marks the latest in a series of efforts from the administration to crack down on immigration and could significantly impact industries that could heavily depend on H-1B workers. The H-1B visa is a work visa that's valid for 3 years and can be renewed for another 3 years. Here's President Trump talking about it. Go ahead.
President, it seems like there's two categories of visa programs. The H-1B, a lot of people believe take American jobs, and then the gold card and programs like EB-5 that add value and jobs to America. Is that sort of how you look at the visa program?
Well, ideally, look, if somebody's got the people, they're not going to want to spend $100,000 as an example in your second category. So it's not taking jobs. And we need certain jobs. We need certain skill jobs that we don't have. But they won't be taking jobs because, you know, ideally the people aren't going to want to, they're not going to have.
Investing in America.
Right, that's right.
So that's what I'm asking.
They're really investing in
America. You have two categories. One, the Secretary of Labor, the gold card and EB-5 that create jobs, add investment, and there's other ones that seem to take, you know, whether it's a J1 and O or an H-1B that take U.S. jobs.
Yeah, it's pretty correct. I mean, I would say that's a correct assessment. But the main thing is we're going to have great people coming in, and they're going to be paying. I mean, it's wonderful to say, oh, gee, we took in 25 million people that, look, many criminals, jails were open from Venezuela, from many other countries, and they were let out of jail and poured into our country, our poor country, how it suffered with this.
You can pause it right there. Tom, thoughts?
Okay, so first let's break down what happened, and then let's find out why people are upset.
Sure.
And then Vinny dug up something by a group called 4chan that they did in the middle of it. So let's get to that.
Yes. I want you to.
That was a very good catch. Yeah. So first of all, what's happening? Inside the bill, the minimum wage that's payable is moving from one point to another, from $60,000 to $150,000. Well, what does that mean? Means that, hey, I'd like to get some engineers. I found some guys that went out of ITT, a fantastic, university in India. They'd like to come over here. I'm going to pay them $70,000. I should be paying them $140,000, $150,000, $160,000. Why am I paying them $70,000? Because I'm saying, I'll give you the job if you'll work for $70,000. Now I got the engineer coming over here on an H-1B. Well, guess who I didn't pay? I didn't pay Americans over here. And I mean, maybe Indian Americans are over here on educational visas that are going to convert that into a work visa of some type, not necessarily an H-1B. And there are people over here, but guess what I just did? I lowered my cost of making software, didn't I?
Of course you did.
Because now I got all these people on H-1Bs. Yeah. So here's what Trump is saying. They're saying, if you have some incredibly special individual that you are willing to pay $150 to, and then also give the government $100, that's $250, where it's a super software architect, a super CTO, or a super person, guess what? The H-1B program is here for you and you may use it. If not, then let's stop lying to the camera about that the H-1B is about diversity and opportunity. It's not. These people, primarily from India, and there's a lot of people reacting, have been taken advantage of for a long time. Let me tell you my personal moral authority on this. I went to hire people when I was in Southern California running a company that had a large software lab. And guess what? People came to me and I interviewed some people and they said, but I'm sorry, the H-1B, can you run it through this guy? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And there is a legal organization where this gentleman had 10, and they were Indian, so I'm not picking on India, but they were 10 Indian engineers from Hyderabad that were going to come, that could work for me. But I have to pay the company. I found out the company was going to take 20% of the paycheck. So not only was I going to pay $80,000 for these people, $16,000 was going to go to this guy standing in the middle. Yeah. So they were really only going to get $64,000. What nobody is talking about is the exploitation and the placement services that have been going on. And by the way, that organization was based legally with the U.S. business license. They were not criminals. They were in San Francisco. But when you look at it on paper, the absolute conclusion is that individual who just wants a job is being taken advantage of, number one. And number two, a kid like Mark Andreessen, I think, went to the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. I think I'm correct. So you have a modern-day Mark Andreessen that comes out of there and doesn't get the job. Why? He's looking for 120, 130, because that's the price for the job. And so what Trump is saying, if you really want them, you can have them, but it's going to cost you $250 and enough with this.
Who's not happy with it? Who's not happy with it?
Who's not happy with it is a lot of people from India are upset because they saw this as an avenue to get to jobs, and they were accepting.
Who in America's not happy with it? Not people in
I'll
India.
tell you who's not happy of it.
Owners?
The CEOs that take advantage of this talent that are now in their CFO's office saying, okay, so let's go take a look at the development costs for next year. If we hire any H-1Bs, we don't get them for $80,000 to $85,000. Now it's going to cost us $250. We better be sure who we want. So they're upset because we just cut off the cheap labor because, Pat, it is fakery. It's absolute fakery. Silicon Valley and anybody in America, not everybody, organizations in Silicon Valley or in America that were, not everybody, not throwing everybody out, that were taking advantage of this to get cheaper labor than you would get by paying available labor here in the United States, are about to see their costs go up, Pat, and that's why they're upset. And a lot of people say, well, you're targeting India. Well, not really, but we're not specifically targeting India like a trade situation. Yeah. But there have been a lot in India, but I'll say it now very clearly. They were being exploited paying a lower rate, and the U.S. companies were taking advantage of that with lower costs, and they were taking advantage of this, and there were great engineers in America of whatever background coming out of our schools that weren't getting opportunities for this because they were there. And guess who could take advantage of it most? The bigger companies that had the longer arms are able to lobby.
Your thoughts?
Well, look, I think the average American doesn't know anything about H-1B visas, and this conversation came up, I want to say, in Christmas.
I thought it was a vaccine. I thought the H-1B one was a vaccine.
Gotcha. It's your third booster.
I was like, great,
week.
Another booster? Great.
You did it again, Vinny. But this conversation really reached an inflection point. Steve Bannon versus Vivek Ramaswamy, and then Elon Musk. And it's true. Tom's right. There are a lot of people that are exploiting this loophole, right? The conversation that you had, I thought, was very impactful. Were you on Will Kane's show, PBD?
Yeah.
I want to get your perspective on that. But there's legal immigration. There's illegal immigration. We're talking about legal immigration, but we want the best and brightest from all around the world. We want people who are contributing to America, but we don't want these people replacing Americans that can also do the job. And then there's that $50, $60, $80, $100,000, in the middle that goes to the headhunters or the exploiters,
correct,
the company. So I think at the end of the day, if we're going to have these people, they need to have a couple different qualifications other than the hard skills. They need to love America and want to be in America. They should be able to stay in America because there's 3-year increments. and then they need to pay their taxes in America and keep their money in America. Because a lot of times they come here, they're paid low wages, they take away American jobs, but then they send their money out of the country. So this doesn't help anyone but the company that's doing it and exploiting them. What are your thoughts, BBD?
Yeah, I mean, look, to me, it comes down to this. If this causes those jobs to be in America where we hire an American, that's what he promised. Very simple. It was part of his 47 promise, the 20 promises that he made for being a president. So if you like it, you don't like it, he's keeping his promise on what he's doing with it. How they're going about it. The one thing about President Trump, with this one lady messaged him, said, well, you know how this is going to affect, this isn't just about engineers. Well, what about the nurses? You know, what did she say? She said, by the way, she said something, and it's actually very true.
Was it the girl that I know as well?
Yeah, you know her as well. She used the word medical deserts. This is Hecka.
Hecka, I
medical
love her.
deserts. Yeah, she's amazing.
We know Hecka.
Medical deserts, right? Where, Rob, can you pull up medical deserts? Just type in medical deserts, Tom. I'm sure you're aware of what medical deserts are. Areas in America where we don't have enough. Go to images. If you can go to images, Rob. Where we don't have enough help and support. If you zoom out a little bit so we can show what this is. Just go on the one, you were doing the right thing, yeah. Healthcare deserts, county by county. Number of healthcare deserts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the lowest to the highest, right? You see there's some places where we don't have enough pharmacies or primary care providers or hospitals or hospital beds or trauma centers. And so the argument then becomes, who does this affect? Does this affect the medical field? Does this affect what kind of health care we can provide to because maybe some nurses are coming from different places on H-1B visas. Maybe some people are coming. So that is the only part. But this is my trust in the administration. Do you guys remember when they came out with something and then they changed it immediately within days? What was it when he announced something? President Trump came up with something and they said, you know what, we've thought about it.
What was the topic?
It was what they were doing in California, and they were getting rid of some workers, and they said, wait a minute, our farms are taking a hit, and we have to find a way to make it work. Do you remember that, Rob? I don't know what.
Yeah, it was the foreign workers for deportation.
Right, and it was kind of like, hey, because of this, we are deciding to do this because that's what a CEO does. You come up with a new compensation plan, you come up with a new benefits package, you come up with something new, and then all of a sudden, like, it broke this, it broke that, it broke this. Like one time we got a health insurance, they come in, we're going to be cheaper, we're going to be this, this is awesome. And then all the, guys are like phenomenal. And you notice they didn't have what do you call it when you have a kid, delivery, Tom, when you have the benefit of where the insurance covers if you have a child.
Maternity baby.
Not maternity leave. It's the actual procedure when you go in there. It's expensive, right, when you're at the hospital. This one insurance didn't cover that.
Oh, C-sections?
No, just the fact.
Regular delivery.
Yeah, regular delivery. So one of our girls comes in, it's like, wait, do you know about this insurance that we got? What's that? If I want to have a kid, the benefits better before, even though this is, let's just say 20% cheaper but it's not for somebody that wants to have kids. You're like, you know what? We got to change it. Mm-hmm. So then we want to change the health insurance again. So Trump is going to...
the coverage exclusion. That's right.
Yes, Trump's going to see this and is going to say, let's see how the market reacts. Let's see who calls us. All right, okay, so this is who called. They got a good point. Can we make that adjustment? Can we make this adjustment? Yes, and then boom, they take the next step. So I trust the fact that they'll be pivoting, but I do know this is a very sensitive issue to a lot of people. And I respect him. It was part of his promise to keep the jobs in America.
And by the way, he made a micro pivot yesterday or Saturday where he said, hey, to be clear, that $100,000 will not apply. It should not apply if you already have visas in motion because you weren't planning for that.
Yes, I saw that.
So I don't want you to be pinched.
That. Yes.
Pat, let me just give you a little bit of credit for what you just said because I don't know if everybody caught that. That is such an important component of why Trump is a good president. Hear me out. As a CEO, because I see you, I have the honor of sitting next to you all the time and seeing these decisions, even on the plane yesterday, of not doubling down on bad decisions, of saying, you know what, we were wrong on that one, guys. We're gonna stop that agenda. We're gonna actually cut off that show. We're gonna do whatever it is, and we're actually gonna pivot. A lot of politicians say, well, I made the announcement, I can't go back now. I keep my word, wink, wink, Gavin Newsom. But to reverse course and not double down on a dumb decision is so important for the leader of the country or the leader of a company. That to me is very important.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that you can't have it any other way if you're a businessman. You're not going to make it. Your business is going to be out of business, and there's not much you can do about it. Something special happened last week. Before we went to the memorial, Vinny had a new collection, and we just got a report from Leo how successful that collection was. I'm going to have Vinny say a few thoughts and few words about the Faith Over Fear. Vinny, share with them why you're excited about this shirt.
Oh, I mean, I think
we rarely do back-to-back.
I don't think we ever have done back-to-back.
But it's such a big hit, especially with the timing of it.
But so as you guys can tell, cross on the front, Faith on the Fear on the back. I wore this on Sunday, and I went to a diner, and I'm sitting there. Guys, a guy pats me on the back, sits down next to me, starts telling a story about his faith and his family, starts crying. A waitress comes, and she's just sitting there. Her name is Mary, sitting there staring at me. I'm at Lester's Diner. I had 5 people around me talking about faith and something is happening, Pat. I got emotional walking in here today with you and crying. And guys, just having faith, okay? Matt Sapala, you mind if I say?
Crazy.
Guys, Matt Sapala is a huge, big time, loyal, amazing guy and friend with his wife Sheena. Dude, he just got on a plane, literally flew to Arizona. No joke. I think, Pat, you're gonna send it to Rob. Guys, he flies to Arizona, nothing, no ticket.
He has no way to get in.
He has no way to get in.
Yeah.
He texts back, goes, I'm here. Guys, and Rob, how many people were walking around outside?
Well, they said that there were around 100,000 in the area. There were 60,000 inside the stadium, so 40,000 walking around trying to find a way to get in.
We're driving in circles. We don't know where we're going.
And out of nowhere, we see Matt Sapala.
Now Pat goes, hey, there's Matt right there.
There he is. And long story short, we get him in the vehicle, and he goes, and Pat goes, what are you doing here? No wife, no. He's like,
he said faith over fear.
No, he goes, I just had faith that God, something told me just get on an airplane and go. And he goes, here I am. And he got in our van, and we got him in, and the word faith jumped out. I go, see how God works.
Security, the whole nine.
So guys, the thing behind it is just having faith over fear. We don't know, none of us saw Jesus Christ, but I have faith because I've heard the stories and I believe in my heart of hearts, and never, guys, all this stuff, everything that happened with Charlie, zero fear. And we found out that Charlie, God rest his soul, died instantly. And I have faith that in that instant second, he was with Jesus, and he was with God in heaven. So that's it, guys. So faith over fear. Let people know that I'm not scared. We're not scared about nothing. Zero, because we have faith. Period.
Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. Faith over fear. Rob, can we make sure we put the if you can go to the website so I can show exactly where it's at and they can find it. You literally go to vtmerch.com, and it's the first thing we have there. Go on the collection. There's multiple colors. The white.
Apparently the red is doing really good.
Yeah. Go whichever color you want. You pick and choose gray. Get your shirt represent. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.